Rough cuts, ba 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 ba. Adam Stone check. Is that the best way to do this? I don't know. Adam Stanchek, Rough Cuts movie review. I wanted to review Django Unchained because I saw it the other day and I thought it was pretty sweet. Is that aiming at me? I think that's got to be aiming more at me. So I'm going to do the light, bright, death phase video record. Save time. I know it's late Thursday. But Django Unchained, Quentin Tarantino. You guys heard about this movie, but if in case you didn't, because you're a stupid person, it is kind of like what Quentin Tarantino did with Inglourious Bastards, where he takes this like Jews go and kill Nazis things, and he did it with slavery pre-Civil War, right before the Civil War. This guy named Django, who is a slave, gets freed by this German dude who is the dude from Inglourious Bastards, except he's a good guy now, who's a bounty hunter, and he's like, yo, Django, why don't you help me kill a bunch of whiteys so that we can get the bounties on them? And Django's like, well, I kind of want to save my wife, who's also a slave. And the German dude's like, that sounds awesome. So then they go around killing a bunch of people, and it's all action-y. And that's the movie. Okay, guys, see you next week. No, but it was great. I mean, it's just great to see these, like, it's like a false history of something that didn't happen, but it's just great to see, like, man, that's what should have happened, you know? I like that story, but way better than the shitty history that really happens. Except for there's a lot of N-words. If you don't like the N-word, then maybe stray away from this one. And I don't know, it's like, it's hard to know, like, okay, there were slaves and they were treated really badly, but, like, was everybody back then, like, such a dick? Like, was every single person in the South, like, a racist dickwad? I guess they were, because, like, that was happening. But you see it in this movie, and it's like, God damn it, Django, you should kill every single one of these crackers. I can say that, because that's our word. Oh, man. But it was entertaining, and, I mean, there's parts where, like, definitely where, like, like a kill happens, you're like, whoa! Yeah! And there's definitely parts, like, where, like, something witty is, and you're just laughing, and you're like, that. But my favorite thing about what Quentin Tarantino does in these movies is, like, the scenes with the tension. And I don't like scary movies where you think something's gonna jump out at you, as everybody knows. But, like, the tension he can create in dialogue, where they're just sitting there having a boring conversation, and this conversation, if you and I had it, it'd be like, okay, this is boring and I want to walk out of the room. But when it happens in a Quentin Tarantino movie, you're like, holy fuck, somebody's about to get murdered. And I don't know who it is. And holy fuck. I mean, you know, you've seen Quentin Tarantino movies, so you're like, anybody could die. Anybody. It doesn't matter. Anybody could die. But I don't know. They just build this tension. Like the long, where it's like a solid single take, long cuts, where it's just like, wow, what's going to happen? Those guys are, I mean, somebody's going to die. I know they're both carrying guns and they both know how to use it. That's the other thing, is Django has superpowers in this movie. Now, they don't really talk about it, but his superpowers are that he can go from, like, being a slave who I would imagine never held a gun before to being, like, the world's best gunfighter. Like, just instantly. You hand him a gun and he's now a master of weapons. And I like that universe. And that's one of the things I want to talk about this movie. I always think it's important in any kind of movie, unless it's a documentary, that you're going to create your own universe, and you got to be kind of true to your own universe. And Quentin Tarantino has his own universe already, and this is true to the Tarantino universe of, like, the way everything works and everything's intense. But also, I don't know, like, where you can have, like, the silly moments, and you can have the serious moments, and you can have all that craziness. But I thought it was good. I talked with one of my buddies who said he thinks it's one of Tarantino's best. I haven't seen Jackie Brown, so I'm not the entirety of Tarantino's. But I think that's safe to say. Though I generally am a fan of what he does, even though I do understand what it's going to be before I see it, you know. And it didn't surprise me. There was nothing surprising about it. Yeah, that might be the only negative about it, is, like, there was, I mean, kind of the way it went. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it as much as I expected to enjoy it. And I mean, there were definitely moments where I'm like, whoa, yeah, And there was actually definitely moments that were like a little too intense. Like some moments where it's like, okay, I understand that like this person's being brutally murdered right now, and this is a Tarantino movie, and there's brutal murder all the time. But then this murder is a little, I don't want to watch this one, you know. So there's definitely moments like that too. So I mean, if you have a weak stomach, or if you are not into that kind of stuff, then maybe stray away from this one. Because other than like the action murders, there is some just gruesome, like torturous slave murder that is like a little like, ugh. Kind of like The Passion. You guys remember the movie? There was a movie that Mel Gibson made, this fiction called The Passion of Christ. But there's a scene where this guy named Jesus was getting all like beat up on, and you're like, okay, enough. I understand that that's what you guys believe happened, but like, I get it, okay, but we don't need to see it. I don't know. Like Jaws, the scenes without the shark were the best scenes. So like, why don't you just infer that Jesus was beat up for 15 minutes, not show me that? Okay, getting off subject. And also in the movie North Country, which was about like women who had a hard time working as coal miners because of all the sexual harassment, it was like the same thing where it's like, I get it, bad things happen and the world sucks, but I don't want to have it in front of my face for so long. And there was some of that in this movie, where it's just like, okay, slaves had it really shitty, and I understand that, and there's no getting away from that. It's like, this is a shitty situation. So there was, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but to a certain point. Same thing with Holocaust movies, where it's just like, man, this sucked, and I get it, and I don't want to watch it because, I don't know, but whenever I say that, I'm going to feel that way about a movie. Like The Pianist, I thought The Pianist was fantastic, and there was definitely a lot of like, wow, it sucked to be a Jew during the Holocaust in Europe. That was not cool. So, anyway, it's not a historically accurate portrayal of what happened, but it is a pretty kick-ass movie about the slave becoming a superhero, sort of, and going and being awesome. An action movie. So, go and see it, and I love you all. And I'll try to be more regular with my bowel movements and my reviews.